Early on in my weight loss journey, constantly feeling hungry and cutting back on the amount of food I was eating was a real struggle. But what I now realize is that actually it doesn't have to be like this at all. It is totally possible to eat more food and still lose weight. You just have to alter your approach slightly. So in this video, I want to share with you 2 ways to go about this that have personally helped me, in the hope that you can implement these and maybe they'll help you out as well. Now, the first thing you can do, obviously, is to increase your energy expenditure for the day, right? It makes perfect sense that if you're burning more calories throughout the day, you can eat more calories and still stay in your calorie deficit. Now, the key here is always calorie deficit. If you are burning more calories than you're consuming each day, you absolutely will lose weight. There's no other way around this. So if you want to eat more food and still lose weight, you need to burn more calories throughout the day. It really is as simple as that. Now, I do know this can sound a bit daunting, especially if you don't like the idea of going to the gym or you don't feel like you've got enough time to do more exercise and things like that to burn more calories. But what I would say to that is, don't make this complicated. There are lots of simple things that you can do throughout the day to increase the number of calories you burn that day. Things like walking more, making more steps, things like standing instead of sitting, taking the stairs rather than the elevator, right? That's the classic example. But maybe you do something like every time you have some food, you go for a quick 10-minute walk, right? Simple things like this are going to have a big impact. It is not about spending hours and hours in the gym each day. It really is just changing a few habits which then build up and have a very big impact on how many calories you burn throughout the day. The second way to eat more and still lose weight is to focus on low-calorie, high-volume foods. This was really powerful when I learned about this. So as soon as I stopped focusing on how much I was eating and instead started focusing on what I was eating, it was amazing. I was able to eat a lot more food and still lose weight. Now, I want to be perfectly clear here. In my opinion, there is absolutely nothing wrong with eating all of the foods you love, but just a controlled amount of them, right? If this is what gets you into that calorie deficit, if this is what helps you stay consistent, then by all means do this. This is exactly what I did when I first started. I was eating pizzas and burgers and fries and all the stuff that I love, but I was just eating a controlled amount of it, so I made sure I wasn't eating too many calories. This really worked for me. I was able to lose a lot of weight very, very quickly. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. But what I think you'll find is that as you progress through your weight loss journey, you actually want to experiment with new foods. You want to try different approaches, especially if you're getting a bit tired of having these small portions and feeling hungry all of the time. So this is where low-calorie, high-volume food comes in. So you've probably seen those YouTube videos where there's like 100 calories of fruit and there's 100 calories of French fries or something. And you've got this massive pile of fruit and you've got like 2 French fries. And it's really, oh wow, really interesting, right? That's the basic approach here. If you can focus on foods that you get a lot of food for a low number of calories, then obviously you can eat a lot more of this and still stay in your calorie deficit. Foods like leafy greens or vegetables or fruits, soups, things like this are perfect because you can eat tons and tons of that without overloading yourself with too many calories. But the real trick here is to cut out those extra things you add to foods, things like sauces and oils and dressings and things like that. These are all silent calories, right? You don't really notice them, but they have a lot of calories in them and they very quickly add up and actually move you out of that calorie deficit. They're a real problem if you don't understand them. So if we take an example of like some chicken, some pasta and some pasta sauce, if you take out the pasta sauce, you now have more calories to play around with and you can add in more chicken or more pasta, right? More protein or more carbs. This is going to help you feel fuller. You're going to get more nutritious value from that. And you can eat more food without overloading yourself with calories. So cutting out these silent calories, the sauces, the oils, and the dressings, it's really, really powerful. So let's take a couple of examples. Let's go for a calorie-dense food versus a low-calorie, high-volume food. So for calorie-dense, the high calories, low volume, if we look at pepperoni pizza, right? 1 or 2 slices of pepperoni pizza is about 200 grams. And from this, you're probably going to be getting about 500 calories. Okay? There's going to be a lot of carbs there, a lot of fat. There will be some protein because you've got the cheese and you've got the pepperoni, which is great. But in general, it's going to be low volume and low fiber. On the other hand, if we look at a salad, for example, this is going to be low calorie, high volume, because we can have lettuce, spinach, cucumbers, tomatoes, bell peppers, some grilled chicken breast for some protein, some avocado for healthy fats, olive oil for some dressing, and then some flavoring stuff on top, right? With this, you're going to get about 600 grams of food and only about 431 calories. So you're actually eating 3 times the amount of food, but actually eating less calories. You can imagine how much fuller you will be after eating 600 grams of salad versus 2 slices of pizza. Now, this doesn't mean that you can only eat salads. That's not the message I'm trying to give here. But it is a good illustration of, if you can focus in on low calorie, high volume foods, if you can focus in on cutting out those silent calories, making your food simpler, it's actually really easy to eat way more food without overloading yourself with calories. So you can eat more food, stay in that calorie deficit, and therefore still lose weight. So to summarize, if you want to eat more food and still lose weight, you've got 2 approaches. Approach number 1 is to increase the number of calories you burn throughout the day through more exercise, more movement, things like that. Option 2, which I think is easier and probably more effective, is to focus on what you're eating, not how much you're eating. Right? Focusing on those low calorie, high volume foods allows you to eat a lot more food without overloading yourself with calories. So I really hope this helps. The whole point of this channel is to share with you what worked for me in the hope that it works even better for you. So if you like this approach, please consider subscribing to the channel. It'd be great to see you again. And with that being said, it's been a pleasure. I will see you in the next video.